I've been sleepwalking to the same intersection every night since my brother died, and something there has been waiting for me. It trades his memories for mine, his laugh in places I've never been. But I'm running out of things to give, and last week, it left a note in his handwriting, 7 words. You can stop. I'm okay. Let go. The thing is, I don't know if he wrote it, or if something else learned how he writes to keep me coming back. Let me start from the beginning. I don't know when it started exactly. That's the thing about sleepwalking. You don't know you're doing it until someone tells you, or until you wake up somewhere that isn't your bed, holding something that isn't yours. For me, it was a Tuesday in November when I found the dirt. Good dark soil, caked under my fingernails like I'd been digging. My feet were bare and cold, my front door was unlocked from the inside, and on my kitchen counter, there was a small stone I'd never seen before. Gray, smooth, with a mark pressed into it like a thumbprint, except the thumbprint wasn't mine. My name is Daniel. I'm 38 years old. I teach high school history. I drive a used Subaru, and until about 4 months ago, I thought I understood how the world worked. Let me tell you what I know now. It started the week after my brother Marcus died. Overdose. Accidental, the medical examiner said, which is the kind of word that doesn't actually make anything easier. We weren't close in the way people mean when they say they're close. We didn't call each other on birthdays, didn't have inside jokes or traditions, but he was my brother. And now there was this hollow, this specific shape of absence that nothing else could fill. I wasn't sleeping well. That part made sense. What didn't make sense was waking up on the back porch at 4 a.m. with wet grass between my toes, or finding the front gate unlatched in a way I knew I'd locked the night before. My neighbor Claire asked if I was okay, said she'd seen me in the street 2 nights running, just standing there. Standing where? I asked. She pointed down the block, the intersection of Ashford and Hollow Creek Road, every single time. I started taping a piece of thread across my bedroom door at night, broke it every time. So I set up my phone to record, left it on the dresser, pointed at the door. I watched the footage the next morning with coffee going cold in my hand, 3:42 a.m. I walked right past it, eyes open, moving like I knew exactly where I was going. I didn't look like a sleepwalker in movies, that arms out, shuffling thing. I looked purposeful, calm, like I was heading somewhere I'd been 100 times before. I followed myself on the footage until I walked out the front door and the camera lost me. I started sleeping in my car. That lasted 2 nights before I realized I was driving it in my sleep. The 4th week, I stayed up all night. 3:42 came and went. I sat at my kitchen table under fluorescent light, drank bad coffee, and waited. Nothing. 4 a.m. I must have dozed sitting up, because the next thing I knew, I was standing at the intersection of Ashford and Hollow Creek Road in my socks. Both of them soaked through. The air there has a smell. I don't know how to explain it except to say it smells like the moment before something happens. Sweet and heavy, like standing too close to a beehive. Not threatening exactly, just loaded in my hand. A photograph. I didn't recognize it at first in the dark, but when I got home and held it under the kitchen light, it was Marcus. 12 years old, maybe 13. Standing in front of a house I didn't recognize, with yellow siding, a big oak in the front yard, squinting into the sun with this expression I'd almost forgotten. He looked happy, not performed for the camera happy. Actually happy. I didn't own this photograph. I had no idea where it came from. I sat at my kitchen table and cried for the first time since the funeral. And somewhere in the back of my mind, I understood I hadn't taken the photograph. I'd been given it. I went back the next night, consciously this time. I told myself I wouldn't. I lasted one night. I stood at that intersection at 3:42 a.m. in the rain, and I waited. And something came. I don't know how to describe this without sounding like I'm losing my mind. I'm a history teacher. I understand empirical evidence. I know the difference between what I can prove and what I can't. What I can tell you is this. The air changed, got heavier, sweeter. That beehive smell again, but warmer now, closer. And at the center of that intersection, in the space between 4 streetlights, something gathered. Not a figure exactly, more like attention. The feeling of being looked at by something that had been watching you for a very long time. I said, "What do you want from me?" The rain went quiet, and I heard, not a voice, more like a thought that arrived from somewhere outside myself. "You come here every night and leave something." I said, "I don't know what I'm leaving." "You don't remember, but you leave, and we receive." I asked what it was giving in return. One memory, for one memory. Whose memories are you giving me? The sweet heaviness intensified. His, Marcus. I went home and sat with that for a very long time. My brother was somewhere, not gone the way I'd understood gone, and he was leaving me photographs, messages, sent through whatever arrangement I'd apparently made in my sleep without knowing. But I was trading something to receive them, and I didn't know what. I started keeping a journal, writing down everything I remembered, everything I noticed. What I noticed was this. I was forgetting things. Not dramatically at first, small things. My mother's middle name. The route I used to drive to Marcus's apartment. Then I noticed something worse. I didn't forget things exactly. The facts stayed. The timeline stayed. But the weight of them lifted. I can still tell you how he died. The phone call. The medical examiner's voice. The specific way I sat down on my kitchen floor and couldn't get up for a long time. I just don't remember why that used to destroy me. I remember it the way you remember something from a textbook. Chronologically accurate, emotionally distant. Like it happened to a version of me that no longer exists. That's when it started to feel less like healing and more like something being quietly removed. The photographs kept coming. 41 of them now. Marcus in Portland, laughing with his head thrown back, his whole body in it, in a way I don't think I ever saw in person. Marcus at the ocean. Marcus at somebody's kitchen table, holding a cup of coffee, looking out a window with this peaceful expression that I can only describe as free. And the thing I'm ashamed to admit is this. I started to prefer these versions of him. The photographs gave me a Marcus who was okay, who got somewhere, who made it. The real Marcus, the one who struggled, the one I failed, the one who left things unsaid between us, that Marcus got softer, further away, like a song I could still hum but couldn't quite hear anymore. One night I picked up a photograph and realized I was relieved to see him like this instead of the way he actually was. I put it face down on the counter, and I stood there in my kitchen thinking, something is trading me a better version of my brother for the true one. Then, the night I tried to cry, a student of mine lost her father. She came to me after class and I said the right things. I know I said the right things because I've been a person who knew grief. But somewhere halfway through the conversation, I realized I wasn't feeling it. Not the soft ache I used to carry constantly, not the shadow that grief leaves even in quiet moments. I was just present, comfortable, like someone watching a sad film from a comfortable distance. She cried. I handed her a tissue. And when she left, I sat alone in my classroom and tried to cry. Really tried. I thought of Marcus, of the phone call, of the kitchen floor. Nothing came. I thought about how that should break me. That thought produced nothing either. The note arrived on a Wednesday. I woke at the intersection. I'd stopped fighting it by then, and there was something new waiting. Not a photograph, a folded piece of paper, my brother's handwriting, or something close to it. 7 words, "You can stop. I'm okay, let go." I read it in the dark under the streetlight for a long time. And here's what I couldn't get past. Marcus never said, "Let go." In 38 years of knowing him, in every argument and silence and moment of grace between us, he never once said those words. What Marcus would have said was, "Don't be dramatic," or maybe, "You're overthinking it, Daniel, you always overthink everything," but not, "Let go." That's not his voice. That's what something else thinks forgiveness sounds like. I've been going back every night for 3 months. The grief is almost entirely gone now, I can say that, and feel almost nothing. I know that should alarm me. Somewhere in the part of me that's still the person who sat on the kitchen floor and couldn't get up, I know that. But here's what I can't figure out. Is that healing? Or is that what it feels like to have something essential removed so slowly that you only notice after it's gone? I don't know how much of me is left to give. I keep going anyway. I'm a history teacher. I know that humans have always made bargains at crossroads. Every culture, every century. We've always understood that the place where 2 paths intersect is where the ordinary world gets thin. Maybe I've just been keeping an old appointment, or maybe I've been feeding something that learned to write in my dead brother's handwriting, because it needs my grief far more than I ever did. I'm leaving this recording because I need someone to know I existed. I loved my brother. I carried him. That sweet, heavy smell, like standing too close to a beehive. I can smell it now sometimes, even when I'm not there, and I don't know anymore if what's walking to that intersection every night is me, or something, wearing what's left. I don't know where grief ends, and I begin.
End of case file 015. Filed under bargain/sleepwalkers/what we trade without knowing. Codex 11. Supernatural case files.